So I don't know about you guys if you follow like YouTuber news or makeup news, but Jackie Aina has supposedly, it's been rumored. I don't know if she officially confirmed it. I feel like she didn't announce it officially, so that's what the whole controversy is about. But she's apparently gotten married to her longtime boyfriend, fiance, whatever, Dennis. I think they've been together for like 10 years or something crazy like that. And they've been engaged for a good number of those years as well. And apparently she just got married to him quietly. So she changed her name or something. Sorry, I actually don't follow Jackie Aina that closely. I personally have never been a huge fan of hers. I'm not going to take away anything that she did for like black women or black women in the makeup space on YouTube. I know that she is very important in terms of her influence and what she was able to accomplish. I think she's one of the few black female beauty content creators that has subscribers in the millions count. So we're definitely going to give Miss Jackie her flowers. And again, if some of you want to cancel me for this video, there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, all I can say is that I'm not the one that's deciding that most of these examples are women of color. They just happen to be, unfortunately. And there's like reasonings for that, the whole immigrant struggle, the immigrant daughter expectations that a lot of immigrant daughters are put through, especially if they're the oldest kid in the family. A lot of immigrant daughters from like, and we're not just talking about like Jackie. I have other examples too. There's an Asian girl in there too. So again, it's not my choice, obviously, but the fact that a lot of these examples are minority women, the significance of that is not lost on me. Like it's not a coincidence. But unfortunately, I have to speak up because I feel like I need to remind you guys that if you support these women, especially if you're supporting them in a monetary sense, like you're buying things from their brands, or even if you're just watching their videos, that translates into AdSense money for them because attention is currency. And so that money is going into the pockets of their dusties. Okay, straight up is what I'm trying to tell you now. And so with the whole Jackie Aina situation, I just think it's funny because okay, the reason that I'm not personally a fan of Jackie is because I feel like it's not my opinion really. She's shown through her actions throughout the years that she is very resistant to criticism of any type. Like she cannot take criticism basically. And she is notorious for blocking people at the slightest mention of like anything against her or any slight mention of an opinion that does not align completely with hers or any slight sort of, suggestion that maybe she look at something in a different way, she will just block the person, which I don't even think it's wrong because I feel like that's her right as a content creator. She can block people from her page if she wants to. She can curate her comment section as tightly as she wants to, but it's just kind of interesting to me like how I mean, clearly she's doing something right because she's managed to still retain her status, so to speak, like her popularity in her field this whole time, which I guess speaks to just how good of a businesswoman she is. But anyway, apparently she got married quietly to Dennis and she didn't announce it, but on her Instagram profile, she changed her last name from like Aina to Dennis's last name, which I don't even know because ain't nobody checking for that man, that waste man. Oh, Dennis Asamoah. Yeah, so she changed it to Jackie Asamoah. And apparently, like, I'm getting this information from Reddit, right? So she was blocking people that were congratulating her in her recent Instagram posts. And she's been on just like one of her blocking sprees. I think she has like bots or something installed that probably do mass blocking of accounts for her. That's the only way I can imagine that she would be able to block so many accounts on such a big scale. And mark my words, probably by the end of this live, I will also be blocked somehow on all my accounts, even though like I've never even followed her. But yeah, like I've heard a lot of stories of people basically saying that even if they just indirectly interact with, let's say, a comment that is kind of disagreeing with an opinion that she has, right? Like I've heard of people liking a comment underneath one of her posts that another person made about how they disagree with her, or they're just suggesting something different to her, and she didn't like that comment. So not only will she block the original commentator, she will block whoever likes that person's comment. So I don't know, it's giving insecurity to me. But again, she's allowed to run her platform the way that she sees fit. If she's still able to make her bag even with this behavior, then more power to her. But I'm just telling you guys, as potential consumers or customers of her, like, think twice before you buy anything from her brand, because number one, she'll block you if you have any sorts of complaints or concerns whatsoever that you bring to her. Like, I have heard of people buying things from her candle brand and then saying something on the brand's Instagram about how their order was delayed, or it took over a month for the candle to ship to them when it was promised to come in under 2 weeks, and her blocking her own consumers for making comments like that. Nothing combative or nasty, just people expressing maybe just their disappointment over how long it took for the items to ship and to arrive to their house, instead of like addressing them or just giving, a heartfelt apology. A lot of times a verbal apology will go a long way with people. That's honestly all that they're looking for. Now, me personally, I'm not even saying that these consumers are right to be posting on the brand page and to be looking for, like, what are you looking for after the fact, after you've already bought the item and okay, it took forever to get to your house, but now it's there. So what more are you looking for at that point, right? I can see both sides of the issue. If I was a consumer, especially when it comes to these social media influencers brands, if I had any type of small gripe with any part of the purchasing process, whether it be the quality of the item, if I feel it's not up to par, or if I felt that the shipping took too long, anything short of the item not arriving to me at all, in that case, I would just apply for a refund, right? Or at the very least, get a refund from my credit card company if the brand itself won't refund me. But if there's anything in terms of like the product or the buyer experience itself that I'm not unsatisfied with, I would just elect to kind of cut my losses with that one-time purchase. And then I would decide to just not buy from that brand ever again, no matter how much I liked the influencer in the first place, because to me, it's just, that's fair game, right? Like, I tried to support you, but you're not giving me the level of quality or service that I expect as a customer. And so therefore, I'm not going to give you my service anymore. I'm not going to give you my money anymore. Like, it's very cut and dry and simple with me. I guess I'm just not as affected by the parasocial relationship part as most people. I mean, I'm also older, but yeah, so people were kind of criticizing and freaking out about Jackie Aina not taking kindly to people congratulating her on her marriage, which is also, like, if you think about it, it's kind of crazy because she obviously, okay, I know exactly what's going on in terms of the psychology at play here. Jackie Aina's a psychology with this whole thing. So she changed her name from Aina to Asamoah, right, on her social media accounts, or on her Instagram at least, which means that she wants to, it's going to sound harsh, but I'm just going to say it because you guys know I'm a straight shooter. I'm not here to like mince words. So basically she wants to throw it in people's face that she is a wife. Like, look, I did it. I finally got married. I was claimed by a man, right? He did it. He married me. I'm a wife. You guys aren't. So I'm above you. And that's another thing. I think Jackie Aina has always tried to be aspirational. She's always wanted to be like that bougie, aspirational influencer that you can't really touch her. She's never wanted to be relatable, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I think it's very clear that she's been consistent that this is the type of influence that she wants to have, or this is the type of image that she wants to give off. And so it's just funny that people, like, to this day are still getting upset and surprised that she reacts this way to her fans, or that she seems to not value them at all. That this is one of the reasons why I simply choose not to support her, right? But yeah, so she wants people to recognize and like bow down to her for the fact that she was able to get married, but she knows, I think, deep down, that her man is not the prize, right? Sorry, I didn't word that correctly. She knows that her man is not like the high value man or the affluent man that a lot of the girlies in these streets are gunning for these days. So she knows on some intrinsic level that okay, she has the social media success, like she has her own successful social media brand, she has her own product lines. In that sense, she is very successful as a businesswoman, as an entrepreneur. And in the sense of just marriage alone, the fact that she was able to get married, she is successful, but she knows that she's not aspirational necessarily, in the sense that she was not able to get like a high value provider man. She was not able to get a millionaire, you know, like a guy that's above her level, even, that is able to spoil her and give her princess treatment. She basically just settled down with this dusty dude who actually works for her at this point, I think. Like, once her brand and her business really started popping off, I think she just made Dennis, this guy, her employee, and he's just been leeching off of her ever since, which is fine. That's her life, that's her choice. But she knows that her relationship itself is not aspirational for most people, especially not the hypergamous girlies on social media. And so that's why she's been like quiet about it, right? Because I remember back in the day, she used to feature him quite a lot in her content. I remember this one video where she was trying on sexy outfits for him, and he would do like reactions about, or he would be rating her outfits. It was just like, you know, regular couples content. I think at the time there was a trend as well of girls doing female influencers doing videos with their boyfriends just for shits and giggles. But I think that she got I don't want to say backlash, but I think there was definitely some feedback to that type of content where they were like, okay, what are you doing? We don't want to see this dusty guy up here, you know, like whoever, if he's not giving you princess treatment, then we don't want to see it. Like, why are you pushing him in our face? We're here to see you, Jackie Aina. And so I think that's probably why she stopped featuring him as much in her content, because she realized that, oh, my audience doesn't like this. They don't see, okay, they see me, they see my lifestyle, like my brand, my businesses as aspirational, but not necessarily my relationship. And so I think she caught on to that and then adjusted her social media strategy accordingly by not including him anymore in her content. And so yeah, it's just funny because like it's insane behavior, right? Like the fact that you got married and then you put your last name as your new last name with by taking your husband's name on your social media, and yet you get mad. You turn around and get like upset and lash out by blocking people who congratulate you on your marriage. But if you really think about it, it makes total sense, right? Because she there is nothing to congratulate, like there's nothing to celebrate, because it's not the aspirational type of marriage that most of her followers are looking for. So there's actually nothing to celebrate. So of course she would block you for trying to congratulate her on her marriage, because deep down inside she's like ashamed. Anyway, this is my point is not to drag Jackie Aina. I'm just here to remind you guys that if you support these women, if you give money, like if you actually buy their products and give money to their businesses, just know that that money is funneling down to their dusty man at the end of the day. Because we know that Dennis is Jackie Aina's employee at the end of the day. He's not like the provider king, whatever archetype that the single hypergamous girlies are after. So another example of this would be like a celebrity example, and this one really pains me. This is Rihanna and ASAP Rocky, who she chose to circle back to after being in a relationship with Hassan Jamil, the Saudi Arabian billionaire, for 3 years. And I mean, okay, on one hand, I kind of understand because Rihanna's life is complicated, right? Rihanna is one of the few female billionaires out there. On top of that, she's a total pop culture icon. I will always love Riri, but when I saw that she had a kid with ASAP, I was like, wow. And I think that this is also part of, maybe subconsciously, this is the reason why I've avoided buying Fenty Beauty or any of her lines, like the Savage X Fenty by Rihanna. I heard that the quality for that line is crap, by the way. And there's some like weird sales tactics that they use for Savage by Fenty. I don't know how the brand is doing now, but I just remember seeing a bunch of YouTube reviews coming out when it was first popping off, talking about how it's a subscription service, right? So first of all, you have to pay like every month and they'll send new lingerie to you. But then if you try to cancel the subscription service, they will be like very aggressive in trying to keep you on board, the people at the call centers. So I don't know if that's how Savage X Fenty still works to this day, but again, that's another reason why it was just sketchy to me all around. And I also thought that like even when Fenty Beauty first came out, which I can't even remember how many years has it been, but I remember I was visiting my mom in the States And then I finally was able to try some of the testers in Sephora because they don't have Sephora in Japan. And I just remember thinking that it was like lackluster quality. I thought that the packaging was cheap. I just couldn't believe that Rihanna went from a billionaire to ASAP Rocky. Like you can even see the posing in this picture, the placement of Rihanna versus Rocky, like the design says everything. Where Rihanna is like in the front, she's leading him, and he's in the back nurturing their kid, which is fine. I mean, men should nurture their kids, but I don't know. ASAP is just like such a joke to me. Hasn't he been in jail several times? Wasn't he arrested in Europe too? Like, not even just in the US, but he was doing some stuff in Europe with his posse and got arrested. And this is who Rihanna chooses to procreate with. Okay. At least she's not married to him though. Like that's the one thing that kind of in the back of her mind, she still kind of somewhat knows what she's doing. Because Rihanna, I mean, we know that Rihanna's a very smart businesswoman. And so the fact that she never married ASAP, like she didn't put a ring on it, that's the one saving grace, I guess you could say. But yeah, it still gives me pause though. I'm gonna be honest. Like when I think about anything produced by Rihanna, not that she's producing any music these days, so at least we don't have to worry about that. But anything to do with Fenty or her other fashion related brands like Savage, X Fenty, I'm not inclined to support it. I'm not inclined to put my money there because I know it's going to go to ASAP at the end of the day. And I didn't sign up to have my money go to ASAP. I wanted to go to Rihanna, right? And so, yeah, you are putting money in the pockets of their dusties when you support Pick Me Women or Bob the Builder women. Don't do it, okay? And here's another one, right? Mina Irfan, the universe guru. Is she gonna strike my channel now after after I use this image? But like we all know that the jig is up. Mina is the breadwinner in her family. No matter how hard she tried to convince us that she was being spoiled and provided her for by her now retired, I think, husband. I think it's very clear that he is not working anymore. And so she's the one that's bringing in the money. She's the one that's providing for her family, including her 10 or 11 years older hubby, who was able to retire because of the amount of money that she was able to bring in from her scams online. And so if you support the universe guru, you would be supporting, even if you still support her as an individual, you would not only be supporting her if you spend money on her courses or anything like that, or coaching, because that money goes directly towards funding Irfan's lifestyle as well, her husband's. Just think twice. Is that what you want to be doing when you engage with these people? See, look at this. Let me show you Rihanna's ex-boyfriend, the billionaire. It's so funny because like every single guy that I dated in Dubai knows exactly who I'm talking about when I mention Hassan Jamil. And I'm like, okay, on the one hand, it makes sense because like we're here in the Middle East, so I guess he would be a big deal there. But on the other hand, how do you know about Rihanna's dating life? I don't know. It's a little sus to me. But yeah, this is who she used to be dating. Now I understand like why maybe that relationship was never meant to work out in the long term because they're from completely different cultures, right? Plus, Rihanna is such a international icon, and she's known for being like very rebellious, very edgy, very risque with her fashion sense and whatnot. And I can see how the culture that Hassan Jamil is from, they probably, maybe his family or whoever, would not take kindly to his wife being that out there, which is why he ultimately got married to a more traditional Muslim woman who looks really accomplished in her own right. I think his wife is like 7 years older than him. So yeah, like he's moved on. He's married to his wife now. And so this relationship is done, unfortunately. Um, which is fine. I mean, like, even if she didn't end up with him, though, I just wanted better for her than Rocky. But I understand, in a way, Rihanna's situation because she's Rihanna. Like, who can you really find that's on her level, suitor wise? I told you guys I had an Asian girl in here too. Not that like this is not about race, okay? But I'm just saying the fact that these are all minority women is not a coincidence. Because I think that a lot of minority women, especially in the millennial generation that were like the daughters of immigrants or the first in their family to really make it big, to really get high education and get a really good job and be able to kind of like move from working class to middle class or something like that, or in Rihanna's case move from working class to the top elite 1% of earners in the entire world. A lot of those types find themselves vulnerable to this type of Bob the Builder slash pick me dynamic when they eventually get into relationships with men later on, because they were taught to hustle and work hard their whole lives just like a man, especially if they were the oldest daughter. And so this is another one. I don't know if you guys know this girl, but I was getting a lot of spam from her at one point. One of those like digital marketing girls, digital marketing slash affiliate marketing coaches on Instagram that I received so many ads from her at one point. I think I blocked her account because I didn't want to see anything else from her. But I tried to go to her account. Like I tried to check it from one of my other Instagram accounts, from my cat's account actually, and I couldn't find her. So I don't know if she's off Instagram altogether now, but she is another prime example because she talked about how she retired her Caucasian fiance after like really catching her stride and making a lot of money in her affiliate marketing ventures. And I was just like, why would you, as a minority woman of immigrant parents who sacrificed a lot to come to the US, and now you're spending your prime years working and retiring a male that belongs to the most privileged group on earth? I don't get it. So I have a video of here of her. Just take a look at her dusty ass fiance, who is now her husband, I guess. I don't know if they got married, but
that course yesterday at 10 p.m. our time,
in
and
his house robe.
yeah, so
Wandering around
we
the
have
house
so
in
it's
his South
8, so
Florida era.
24 minus 8, so 16 hours. In 16 hours in, and she's made $37,000.
So that was from this morning. Just to give you the latest update, in less than 24 hours of launching, my business has made me over $48,000. This is just
Listen, I'm really not trying to come for anyone here. Like, I'm not doing this out of malintent, okay? I'm sure none of these people are going to watch my live. If they did, I'm sure they would not like me. They would not be a fan of me. But what is this insanity? You guys, like, ladies, we have to do better, okay? Leave the pygmies, leave the Bob the Builders to take care of their dusties. If that's what they insist on doing, if that's what they want to do, we're just gonna have to let them make their own mistakes. Like, I'm not gonna be out here trying to convince anyone who's already deep into the doo-doo to change course. Because especially, yeah, if you try to do that, if you try to tell people that what they're doing is leading them down a bad path, then they're just gonna 9 times out of 10 get more defensive and double down. So we're just gonna have to consider this class of women to be kind of lost in the sauce, and let's just collectively get together and pray for them that they'll wake up one day. But like, I think the video speaks for itself. Like, can you imagine? I'm sorry, I'm trying to control my face, you know, but I cannot mask the wave of disgust that comes over me, okay? When I see like a dusty ass man, her dusty ass fiance, like walking around her house that probably she paid for with her affiliate marketing, whatever, profits, unshaven in his robe. So this man is not even, cannot even be bothered to change, to put on a nice outfit for a video for social media. She retired him, and now she's teaching girls on Instagram how to do the same so that they can also retire their dusty boyfriends. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. I tried to look at some of her content. I was trying to see, okay, what is all this affiliate marketing? What is this digital marketing bag that all these girls are supposedly getting? Is it a scam? Is it real? So I was watching like a couple of her and some other creators' content. At the end of the day, I still don't know. I just couldn't watch her anymore after a certain point because she kept featuring her dusty ass fiance up there. This live is so messy. Oh my god, I might have to take it down later. This is what I'm saying. Like, I don't feel safe talking about these topics on such a public forum because I feel like, I don't know, the pick me army has more numbers than we think. I think there's a false sense of like, okay, I am of a certain hypergamous mindset, you could say. So obviously all of the content that I consume, all of my algorithms, whether it's on YouTube or Instagram or TikTok, they are going to promote to me that type of like princess treatment slash hypergamy content. To me, it would feel like, oh, everyone is in majority agreement with me, right? Like, most of the girls online are in agreement with my way of thinking, but that's not necessarily the case. That's just because like we are all happen to be recommended the same content. There's a whole other side where the pick-me's are having their own discussions about like how much they should pay for the date. Should they go 50-50 or 60-40? Like there are girls having entire discussions and channels centered around those topics, which I want nothing to do with. And yeah, girls like talking about how they retired their freaking Caucasian 6'5" blue-eyed finance bro fiancés, which is like the person that least needs it in this entire world, in this entire capitalistic system. And so anyway, again, this is no hate to like Bae Steph herself, but I will not be supporting any of her products. No. Like you got me all the way fucked up if you think I'm going to pay for a course or any type of product from a woman who is literally financing her man's entire lifestyle. You think I'm dumb? I have all the smoke for everyone this Leo season, okay? Because my my birthday, I'm not going to say my birthday was ruined, but I don't know. This new job is like getting on my nerves. And yeah, don't support pick me women or Bob the Builder women. Wow, it's almost 45 minutes. What else? Do I have another example here? No, we covered Jackie, we covered Rihanna, we covered Bae Steph. You could say that Nicki Minaj is in that category too, unfortunately. Like I love Nicki, I love her music, but what is her husband's name? Kenneth Petty. Do you notice how her brand started going down like immediately after she got engaged to and married to Kenneth Petty? Because we all know that he has a criminal record in regards to child essay, or like when he was a teenager, he essayed another teenager, something like that. But he has something on his record permanently, right? And that's something that I just don't understand. Like someone like Nicki Minaj, a woman who is as accomplished and as high of a profile as Nicki Minaj, settling for something like that. Not only settling, but like willingly tainting her own legacy. Okay, because now that you've connected yourself to this man, not only in terms of a relationship, but through marriage, which is a legally binding document, a legal agreement that is sanctioned by the government. Yeah, of course it's going to bring her stock down as well, because people don't want to support someone like a Dennis, not a Dennis is Jackie's new husband, but people don't want to support someone like a Kenneth Petty by proxy of supporting Nicki Minaj. And so they're just going to remove their support for Nicki Minaj in the first place, which is why she's been struggling ever since her marriage to get her status back, I guess, in the rap game. I mean, she's still putting out bangers. She's still collaborating with new artists. So good for her. But it's never like her name is never going to carry the weight that it used to before she attached herself to Kenneth Petty. I'm trying to think of like other examples. See, Naomi Campbell is also like a super successful, super rich female celebrity icon, businesswoman type of figure, right? But at least she had the sense to never get married. Same thing with Oprah. Oprah's an icon. So like regardless of, I'm aware that these two women or all celebrities really have some skeletons in their closet. They have had some questionable things in their past that do require questioning. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about like their iconic status and their high net worth. People like Oprah and Naomi, at least they date, they have a love life, but they never got married to any guy because they're smart, right? And okay, we can say that we can group Rihanna into that too. At least she had the brains to not legally blind herself to ASAP Rocky through marriage. But yeah, just think about it next time you find yourself wanting to buy a candle or something from Jackie Aina's line. Just imagine your money going directly into the pocket of her employee / husband. And that's why I can sleep at night, because I never bought anything from her line and I don't plan to. Shira 7 is a good example of kind of the opposite. I mean, I still wouldn't buy anything from Shira just because I feel like I don't need it. But to her credit, she has also never tried to really sell us on anything. Like she's never released a course. I don't know if she does coaching. But I feel like Shira, regardless of your opinion on her, again, I don't agree with 100% of her content, but I feel like she's maintained her integrity throughout the years, because she always said that she never wanted to release a course. Like she wasn't out here to scam women. So she did make her little Etsy shop, right? Like she'll sell her level up cosmetics, makeup, and accessories and stuff through that shop. But I feel like that is a pretty straightforward business at the end of the day. She didn't make it into an independent brand or anything. She just sells them through her Etsy shop, even though she has like way more. She has does she have 1 million subscribers at this point? I feel like, and yeah, even though she's like out here on YouTube hustling, I do think that she has been genuinely in a, I wouldn't say hypergamous marriage, but she's been in a beneficial relationship, right, with her husband James for the past 2 decades now. Like, I think her relationship is genuinely, and she's never tried to make her relationship out to be something that it's not. Like, she never said that she bagged the highest earning man or anything like that. She was very honest about the fact that her husband James made 6 figures, and it was enough to finance their comfy lifestyle in Houston, which has lower property costs, or you can get more property for less money in Texas. I just feel like she's been honest about all that, right? So anything that she sells through her YouTube channel or her Etsy, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it goes more towards her daughters, right? I wouldn't feel like it's going towards James, who's like 25 years older than her. And plus, James still has a job, as far as I know. I haven't checked up on her channel in a while, but yeah, James, her husband, is still like doing his own thing, with his own corporate job slash career. Whereas Mina's husband, though, I think it's very clear that he stopped working after she started making the big bucks on YouTube. So just be careful, because I know that as women, we have very compassionate, very generous hearts. When we see other ladies out here like hustling, making a name for themselves, we naturally want to support that. And that's not a bad thing. That speaks to your like humanity. It speaks to your feminine desire to, help and be nurturing. But just be aware. Think about, where is your money going to end up at the end of the day if they're attached to a dusty, okay? Just being mindful and taking a second to think about where your money is going to end up at the end of the money transfer cycle. Where is it going to end up ultimately? Is it going to end up actually in the pocket of your favorite female influencer, your beauty influencer, or is it going to end up in the pocket of her dusty parasitical man, fiance slash husband slash whoever?